Alright, John Oaks here, coming to you again with another addition to our inventory today, this being a 1971 Ford Bronco. Of course, our Ford Bronco is a four-wheel drive unit, and this is actually a U100 wagon model. So as you can see, real nice unit that we have here. It's kind of like a jade green exterior color on this. The paint's in actually really good condition on this vehicle. Body is really nice on it too, and as you can see, this model here, we do have the black soft top on it too that can be taken on or off, if you know, whichever way you like. So again, like I said, jade green exterior here. Don't have a lot of flashy stuff on the outside of this one here. Pretty much plain, kept it simple. You can see that they went ahead and left the original style steel painted wheels here on it, along with the hubcaps, just the stock style hubcaps for it. They did upgrade the tires though, so these are a set of the Mastercraft Corsair MXT tires. The size on all four of these are 31 by 1050 R15 LTs. The tread on all four is in excellent shape. Again, it's kind of a real luggy tread pattern here. Again, it would be good for some off-road use if you wanted to do that. But then again, you can take it out on the road, and it's not going to create a whole lot of road noise with the type of tread pattern that's on it. So just a somewhat aggressive tread pattern on it. As you can see, we've got the Bronco emblems here on the fenders here. As we walk down a little further, we've got the mirrors on both sides, chrome mirrors. And the chrome finish on those mirrors is in really good shape. I don't see any pitting or anything on those, on the finish of those mirrors. You can also see we've got the trim here around your vent window here. That's in good shape too. Again, there's no pitting on that trim. The glass is all in good shape on this vehicle too. Our windshield up front, it's got the black molding all the way around, the black rubber style molding. And again, that's in excellent condition there too. All the panels on this Bronco are all steel too. The hinges, you can actually see how nice those are too. A lot of times in some of these older Broncos, these hinges, you'll get some rust on those. But this one's in really good shape. I don't see any rust to speak of whatsoever. And fitment on the doors too. Actually on all the panels, but you can tell at the doors here. You can look at your gaps on the front. You can look at the gaps on the back side, even down along the bottom side of that door. And you can look at the alignment also with your front fenders as well as the rear quarter panels on this vehicle. And you can see that everything's adjusted real nice, lines up real good on this particular Bronco. Now again, we said we got the black soft top here. It's got the tinted side and rear windows. The rear window is a zip open window too, that you can open up, roll up, and keep rolled up if you'd like, just to help with air filtration through the cab. So again, that's a nice feature to it. Another thing that you'll notice on this particular Bronco, a lot of times you'll have a dual fuel tank. You'll see dual fuel fill caps here. This particular Bronco does not have the second tank on it. It only has the rear mounted tank on it. So that's why you see just the one fill tube on there. Now again, as we do with all of our vehicles, just going to open our door up real quick, take a look in the inside. Of course, we'll go more in depth here in a little bit with the interior, but you can see that that same green exterior follows its way into the cab here, onto the door panels here. You've got a full painted door panel. You do have an upholstered door panel also that fits in here real nice too, with the armrests and everything. But again, we'll take a look at that a little bit later. 6-point cage that's in here, so that's done real nice. Painted dash, it's padded also, and they went and put bucket seats in here with a center console. So again, we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Door shuts real nice. Again, even that soft top closes real nice around that. Like I said, we do have those tinted side and rear windows, and this top is made by Rampage Parts. So again, if you wanted to look that up, you could. They apparently make, you know, soft tops for these Broncos, and again, the fit on this is really good for a Bronco. Again, we've already been over the wheels and tires and everything. Again, the body on this, the panels are nice and straight down the side. So again, just with a Bronco, you just don't have a whole lot to talk about. Again, these are 92-inch wheelbase, so they're a real short vehicle, so it doesn't take us long to get from the front to the back on one of these. Alright, so here we are around the back side of our 71 Bronco. So as you can see, tailgate back here looks to be in really good shape here. The handle here and the latch all works. You can see we've got this real nice chrome rear bumper down here. And then our taillight lenses. These things look new in here. So again, there's no cracks, no chips, no splits in any of that stuff. The actual screws that are in there probably look to be like a little stainless screw. So again, everything back here looks real nice. Of course, you got the Ford over here, and then we've got built, not bought, down there on the bottom. So again, on our soft top here, as I said before, that rear window kind of unzips here, and you can keep it rolled up as it is right now to drive around with it. It's just going to help with that air filtration, let the air back here out so it doesn't get trapped underneath that soft top. And then to go ahead and open up this rear tailgate, of course, our soft top does hook in to this little bracket along the top here of our tailgate. So in order to release that, there's these couple rods in here, and you're just going to slide those forward to release the tension on these, and we'll do that here real quick for you. So you can hear that pop. It just releases it, and there's a little clip here that fits underneath here. You just have to take that out on both sides here. There we go. And then we can go ahead and open up our tailgate and let it down. Now as you can see, our tailgate is tethered here with the cables. So again, it's not going to go anywhere. Once it's down, not going anywhere. You can see it's been nicely carpeted on the inside here, on the tailgate, as well as the floor of the bed here. You can see full upholstery too on this car. As far as panels go, you can see inside here, the rear fenders, you've got full upholstered panels the whole way up through this vehicle. So again, really nice vehicle here. You've got the carpeting up over the fender wells too. So again, they've got everything really nicely finished off inside of this vehicle. Now the one thing you don't see on this car, you do not see that removable rear seat. Again, some of them they had them, some of them did not. This one does not. But everything else about this vehicle looks really good the way they have it all finished off. Again, you can see that green exterior, it's all the way on the inside here of our tailgate, as well as inside here as well on our bed. But again, everything's covered up with those full upholstered panels. So that's pretty much it from the back side. You can see the rest of that 6-point roll cage back here. Again, nicely done up. They've got it bolted in here. So again, we're all done back here. All right, now that we're on the passenger side of our Bronco here, again, we can take a look at the whole entire side here. We can see that all the sheet metal is nice and straight the whole way down. We can see that our corners to our doors to our fenders, that everything matches up really nicely on this Bronco. Again, we can check out our door gaps here on the back side of the door, up here on the front side, and across the bottom down here next to our rockers, and see that our doors adjusted really nicely on this vehicle and everything lines up good. Again, the Ford Bronco emblems up there on the front. We've got that chrome mirror over here on the passenger side as well. Now, one thing I did fail to mention on the other side, our soft top here, it also has removable side windows in it too. So you can remove these on both sides, just leave the top section on it. So again, multiple ways that you can go ahead and do that soft top. However you like to drive around with it, you can do it with this actual model. Now again, with our fenders back here, this is all stock, unaltered fender wells back here. So again, it retains all the original lines that would have been on one of these 71 Broncos. We've already been over the tires and wheels. You can just take a look at them on this side and see the condition that they're in. They're actually in really good shape. They've been balanced, so everything's good on these. Let's come up to our door now, just take a quick peek on the passenger side here. And again, our green comes through on the interior of the vehicle, upholstered door panels, armrests here. We've got the bucket seats in here, full carpeted floor, and our 6-point cage, painted, padded dash also. Now when we go in there again, we're going to take a better look at that. We'll see the center console. we'll go ahead with the gauges. We'll tell you what gauges they've put in this thing. I believe they've been through this whole thing too. Practically all new wiring harness on it too. So again, everything looks good. Our weather strips here down along the sides of our A-pillars, those are in real nice condition. All of the strips here down along the bottom and sides of the door, those are all in good condition too. So we'll go ahead and close this up. Again, it closes up real nice and easy there. Our hinges up here are in good shape too for our Bronco. And that brings us to our front fender, which again, all looks good, nice and straight up here for the front fender. You can see our wheel wells are in real nice shape here too. And then that brings us to the front. All right, finally now back here at the front of our 1971 Ford Bronco U100 wagon here. So again, you can see, again, not a whole lot of flashy stuff here. They've painted the grille, color matched it to the rest of the vehicle here, kind of that jade green paint there. We've got the nice chrome bumper here with the little bumperettes on it too. And again, that chrome finish is very nice on this bumper. Got just your traditional sealed beam headlights on this, so your high and low beams, all one unit here. Glass lenses on them, and those lenses are in great shape. There's no chips or cracks in those. You can see your bright the headlight bezels here. Those look to be in real good shape. Looks like all of the hardware's in those, holding those in. And your parking light lens covers here. These are in good shape. There's no cracks or breaks or anything like that in here. Little stainless screws in here too. And of course your Ford insignia up here on the front of the vehicle. That's really all to go over up front. Aside from the hood, all steel hood. Fitment on this hood is really nice, you know, for this vehicle. Again, your gaps up both sides look to be very uniform on this. And as far as your elevations go on these Broncos, none of them were ever perfect on these things. But this car is not bad at all. Very little deviation whatsoever in the elevation on this hood between that and the front fenders. But again, the fit is really good for a Ford Bronco on here. So what we're going to do next, since we've been around the whole car, is we're going to go ahead and open the hood up for us next. Since I'm a little bit on the shorter side and our Bronco is up a little bit higher, we're going to grab a ladder here so we can get the hood up, and then we'll be right back and we'll discuss what we have for an engine. Alright, now we got the hood open on our 71 Bronco, so we can talk about what we have underneath that hood. So what we have here is the original 302 small block Windsor block that's in this Ford Bronco here. Now as far as all the add-on components, we've got chrome Edelbrock air cleaner. We've got chrome powered by Ford valve covers in here also, just to add a little bit of flash to it. Now as far as the carburetor goes, we've got an Edelbrock carb and intake. So again, a good set there for on top of the motor. Now the Edelbrock carburetor, it's a single feed 4-barrel carburetor. It's a 1405 series carb, and it's a 600 CFM carburetor. So there's your information on your carb. As far as the ignition, they've gone ahead, they've kept with a stock style distributor in this vehicle. They did upgrade the plug wires to a set of Excel Super Stock 8mm plug wires, and they've upgraded the coil on this to an Excel Super Stock coil also. So again, going to give you a little better spark there, and your carburetor and your intake's going to give you a little bit better fuel delivery there too. So again, that's all going to help things on the top end of your motor. Everything else though, the heads, of course the block, it's all going to be cast iron stuff there. We've got a mechanical fuel pump on this. We do have stock cast exhaust manifolds on here. A lot of times guys elect to leave those on because they do seal up a little better than most of your headers do. And we'll go over this on the underside video, but it's got, of course, dual pipes from your manifolds to a single muffler and then a single tailpipe on this. Now again, anything else on the motor here, just a regular alternator, regular water pump. We've got a stock style radiator here. We've got the fan, mechanical fan underneath here with a flex blade on it. We've got the plastic shroud on here as well. Power brakes on this. Again, this has disc brakes up front, drums on the rear, so it's going to stop real nice for you. Got your windshield washer tank and your radiator coolant tank over there, right attached to the fender well there as well. We've got breather and PCV valve on our valve covers, and heater lines are all hooked up on this. Looks to have a fairly new Autocraft battery here, and as we do with all of our batteries, we always put this lever style battery shut off on all of them. Again, these vehicles don't get driven a whole lot, so whenever they're sitting around, we always like to just disconnect that battery just so there's no parasitic draw that goes on there. Other than that, for underneath the hood, we really don't have a whole lot to go over. Pretty much just stock everything else underneath here. As far as the transmission goes, we got a 3-speed manual, and then of course the rest of our driveline is going to be a 9-inch Ford rear on the back, 350 gear, limited slip differential, and of course our front differential is also a limited slip differential there as well. Alright, now that we're inside of our 71 Ford Bronco, again, we can take a look at our door panels out there. Painted doors with the upholstered black door panel and armrest there. As you can see, the door panel itself looks to be in real good shape. The armrest also in real good shape. You don't see any cracks from normal wear and tear whatsoever on that. If we continue on the inside here, you can see that we've got a set of black bucket seats here. And again, it looks like these have come from the company Best Top. They also make tops, but of course this top is made by Rampage Products. The seats are real nice. There's no rips or tears in them. Nice bucket seats for in one of these Broncos. And of course you can see that they've gone ahead and put a center console in here, so you have a little bit of storage and an armrest in the center, along with a couple of cup holders for you for when you're out on the trails and you need something to drink. As far as the dash goes, just stock dash itself, painted and padded dash. The pad itself is in excellent condition. We've got this Grant steering wheel in here, a nice fat grip to grab a hold of there so that you can steer this thing really easy. And then they have upgraded and gone to some aftermarket gauges in this vehicle. Now these are all odometer gauges, so they're all going to be really good and really accurate. And just so I can see what I got going on over there, we've got your 120 mile an hour speedometer. You also have a tachometer over there, all on the left side of your steering column. Over on the right side of the steering column, now you've got all your additional gauges. You've got your fuel gauge, oil pressure, water temperature, and your voltmeter gauges. All of which, again, like I said, are all matching odometer gauges, so they did a real nice job installing all of that here in our factory dash. We also have the factory heater controls and windshield wiper controls. That all remains stock just like it should. Again, I've mentioned we've got our 6-point roll cage here. You can see we've got coming down here to the front of the cab, right in the middle, around our, right behind you where you sit at. And then of course the bars coming off of that all the way to the back of the bed there basically. Again, our soft top here, you can run it a number of different ways, with the side windows out, with the rear window up. You can even peel the whole thing off if you want to and run it without a top. It's all in what you want to do there. Now as far as ours goes here, looks like they've got some stereo equipment here. I'm not sure if it's all hooked up or not, but looks like they have some kind of an MTX type speaker set up here. Again, I don't know if it's all hooked up, but it is here available in the event that you were to put a radio in it. As far as the shifters go, as I said, we've got the original style 3-speed manual transmission in here. So to go along with that, we've got a set of Duffy's shifters, one for the transmission, one for the transfer case for your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive low. So again, matching shifters here. Again, those are nicely bolted in here, nice accessory piece around those, and the boots are in good shape on those too. The carpeting in this, as I've mentioned, it comes all the way from the front of the cab all the way to the back of the bed. Nicely done. Again, the carpet looks to be in real good shape, not faded out, not torn up in any way. So again, that all looks pretty good there as far as that goes. Your glove box, loss of words there, but your glove box here, slightly impeded just a little bit by your roll cage here, but you can get into it. You can see your fuse panel is inside here too. So, and they're easy to get to, and they're labeled very easily too. So again, as I said, I believe they've gone ahead and upgraded the wiring harness in here. So your fuse panel also has been upgraded. Very easy to read. Again, you do not use the old style glass fuses. They've got the more modern, like the mini type fuses in there. So again, real easy to change out if you ever needed to. So other than that, that's pretty much it. That's the interior of our 71 Bronco. All right, we've got our 71 Bronco now up on the lift. Again, this is a 71 Bronco 4-wheel drive. This is the U100 wagon version here on our Bronco that we have here. So again, as we always do, we always start up here at the front of the vehicle. We'll talk about the suspension and the steering and so forth, and then we'll just work our way back on the vehicle. So as far as the suspension goes on this, it appears as though it's got probably about a 2-inch suspension lift on here. The rest of it is done in the way of a body lift, and it looks like they've done about a 2-inch body lift on it also. So altogether about 4 inches of lift here. As far as the rest of the suspension, shocks, looks like all 4 corners have fairly new shocks on it. I'm not exactly sure name brand wise what they are. Wasn't able to get a name off of them, but they all look to be in great condition. The mounting bolts, everything look to be really nice on them. Of course, we got the steering stabilizer up front. That's going to help it from walking side to side on you whenever you're driving down the road. Everything else, all of your drag link, tie rods, all that stuff, those are in real good condition on this vehicle. Now it looks like as far as brake lines go here, they kind of just pop out at you. It looks to be fairly new, if not brand new. Looks to be all stainless brake lines. They've even got some braided lines going up here to the corners where you can see them, where you need a lot of articulation there. As far as your big suspension arms here, your torque arms here, you can see the bushings on those. Those are in excellent shape. They look to be fairly new here. They're not split or cracked out. So again, it's going to keep your suspension nice and taut there whenever it's traveling. All your bump stops are all intact also on this vehicle. As far as the rear, the front rear differential on this vehicle, it is a limited slip differential, just as is the rear one on this car. We've got disc brakes up front for braking. They are power brakes, and then of course in the back, as most of them do, we've got the drum brakes back there. For wheels and tires, factory just painted steel wheels, then they have the hubcaps on them. Again, they were just kind of keeping with the traditional stock style look there on the wheels. But tires, you can see they've updated those a little bit. We've got a set of Mastercraft Corsair MXT tires on here. You know, fairly aggressive tread on here. And these are 31-10-5 15 LTs. So again, it's going to give you, if you're going to take it off-roading, it'll give you a decent amount of traction whenever you're out off-roading. Yet it's still not as aggressive as you could go, that you can go on the street and it's not going to cause you a whole lot of road noise there either. Drive shafts on this vehicle, both front and rear drive shafts on here, they have been balanced, so your drivetrain should stay fairly, you know, vibration free. As far as the engine goes, we've got the original 302 small block Windsor motor in here, backed up by the original 3-speed manual transmission on this vehicle. Of course, your transfer case here, and then that rear differential, which this is a 9-inch Ford, again a limited slip rear differential in this vehicle. For springs on this car, both the front coil springs and the rear leaf springs, they are both, and again, I hope I don't mispronounce this name, but Deaver, D-E-A-V-E-R, Deaver springs, both coils and leaf springs. Again, you can see they've gone with a pretty heavy-duty leaf spring back here, multi-leaf here. Again, doesn't add a whole lot of lift to it, but again, they may have been, you know, possibly going to tote around something pretty heavy in the back of it, so they put a heavy-duty spring on the back there. As far as exhaust, we've got, of course, you're going to have dual pipes you know, one out of each manifold on this vehicle, but it comes back and we're only going to see one muffler in here. So you've got dual pipes in, a single pipe out, and that does exit out the rear of the vehicle, back behind the rear tires. Single fuel tank on this vehicle also. They've gone ahead, I know some of these Broncos will have an additional tank right up here underneath the floor. This one does not though. We just have the rear mounted fuel tank here. Again, all brake lines are all new and routed right up along the side of the frame. Also, fuel line, that looks to be all new, mounted up along the side of the frame there too. We've got the emergency brake, that's all hooked up too. So your front cables, your intermediates, and then your rear cables going down to the drum brakes. Those are all there, all hooked up and all working also on this vehicle. The frame, you can look at the frame and see it's good and straight the whole way down the sides. Nice and square. Again, it's not been banged up on anything. So again, I think what they were getting after here was the off-road look, but I don't really think that this vehicle's probably been off-road a whole lot by the looks of things. And the floors look great in this vehicle. They possibly, I think what I was told is they may have had this floor media blasted, and then they've done a nice real thin coat of an undercoating. Again, very, very lightly textured, and then sprayed black underneath here. So everything looks good. I don't see any patch panels or anything like that. Floors look to be in great shape. You can see all the bracing across the floors also. And again, it's all the correct floor pan sheet metal here. You can see all the ridges, all the lines in it just as they should be there. So again, that's pretty much everything on our Bronco.